majority of the conference basically cast a vote of no confidence in Jordan as the speaker candidate, deciding that it was time for him to step down. That set forward a series of other decisions where now Congress is basically done for the day. They're going to come back next week and try again. But Jordan, after 3 consecutive votes in which he only lost support among the Republican conference, now bowing out of this race at the behest of the rest of his party.
House Republicans are embarrassing themselves to such an extreme extent that one of those congressmen, Representative Steve Womack, said on CNN today, I love this, that his GOP colleagues are peeing on the electric fence in the speaker fight. Now, Jim Jordan has officially given up his bid to be the next House Speaker. And today, they held the 3rd vote to see if maybe there'd be enough Republicans voting in favor of him to become the next House Speaker. But no, he actually fared even worse the 3rd time around, with 25 Republicans voting against him. Now, after that, he lost a GOP secret ballot vote that was taken behind closed doors on whether Jordan should even remain their candidate for speaker. And guess what? When it came to that vote, an even higher number of Republicans were against him. It was 86 to 112. So only 86 of those Republican lawmakers were in favor of continuing the nomination of Jim Jordan. Now, with that said, Matt Gaetz, not so happy about this whole situation. Let's watch.
The most popular Republican in the United States Congress was just knifed by a secret ballot in a private meeting in the basement of the Capitol. It's as swampy as swamp gets, and Jim Jordan deserved better than that.
And a very frustrated Kevin McCarthy, who was ousted from the speakership role because of Matt Gaetz, had some harsh words for him. Let's watch.
What history will look at, the crazy eights led by Gaetz, the amount of damage they have done to this party and to this country is insurmountable. I've never seen this amount of damage done to just a few people for their own personalities, for their own fear of what's going through. And really, it's astonishing to me, and we are in a very bad position as a party, one that has won the majority, one that America has entrusted us with, that a simple 8 people have put us in this place.
And listen, guys, yesterday, Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy allegedly got into it during a closed door meeting that other lawmakers described as intense. So at one point, while speaking at the mics during the gathering, McCarthy mentioned Gaetz by name, according to a source in the room. Gaetz stood up to kind of interrupt him and say something, per a second source in the room. This is my favorite part. McCarthy then shot back, "Sit your ass down," McCarthy said, according to the source, prompting Gaetz to say something back. The second source said Representative Mike Bost was ready to lunge across the room. Just absolute insanity. It's a clown show. It's a total clown show. Like, it's embarrassing, but also highly entertaining, Brett.
I think it's amazing. They made their bed and they're pooping in it. That is exactly what is happening right now. Big loss today for a former, I don't know if you guys have heard about this. He was involved in some athletics back when he was at The Ohio State University. That guy, jacket off Jim Jordan, because he takes his jacket off. That's the only reference there. Has lost, and his chronology is loser, loser. He was gonna quit, but he came back for another vote, the 3rd one, which he lost, and now he's been ousted. So he's a 5-time loser, 1-time almost quitter. It makes me so happy. Jim Jordan, we have all been spared, at least for now, hopefully forever, from having a Speaker of the House who is that guy at the car dealership after you think you've agreed to the price of the car. He's sitting there in the finance area going like, "We're not gonna let you leave here without the true coat. You want to get that true coat?" Totally. And that guy his own staff of people at the dealership just be like, "Listen, everybody hates us, but we hate you the most. Sit your ass down," and it makes me so happy.
It's so good. So when rumors of that whole exchange came out, Matt Gaetz spoke to the press saying of Kevin McCarthy, he gets his Irish up sometimes. "I'm not a very emotional person. I'm a lawyer by trade, not a baker. And so I'm used to the presentation of arguments and the listening of arguments without getting hot under the collar." Matt Gaetz is like insufferable. Like, so much so that, like, I don't really have have much love for Kevin McCarthy. Please don't get me wrong, but he somehow makes Kevin McCarthy look good, relatively speaking.
He's definitely smarter than Kevin McCarthy.
Totally.
That's the problem. So Kevin McCarthy, Matt Gaetz gets to take as many victory laps as he wants, even if he loses getting his people in there, because Matt Gaetz is essentially the reason Kevin McCarthy lost his job. Because Kevin McCarthy, for all these fiscal conservatives in the right wing, they've proven one thing: they can't count for crap. The best asset, there's two things you need to do as Speaker of the House. One, you need to be able to raise money, and we all know that. Two, you need to be able to count votes. And Matt Gaetz has gone in there, and Kevin McCarthy and Jim Jordan have both failed at counting votes. They have lost them in a way that is, quite frankly, super duper unprecedented as far as recent memory is concerned. And the only difference is, like, its instability is not great for your party. It could be good for certain interests, but I still don't know what those interests are after all of this. They're not doing a good job of messaging that. Everybody knows that it's just a bunch of guys. They might not be peeing on an electric fence, but they definitely have their junk out and they're measuring it.
Totally. And they're doing it at a cost to the American people, because the House is unable to conduct business, do their jobs if they don't have a speaker. And look, it's gotten so petty and so pathetic. I mean, it's so embarrassing. I don't even know if I carried myself this way in high school or middle school, but now they're like blocking each other on social media. So Nancy Mace, who was one of the crazy eight, as Kevin McCarthy likes to say, ousted Kevin McCarthy, voted against him. And so she had written on X, formerly known as Twitter, "We should not go home until we have a speaker," to which Congressman Greg Murphy quote tweeted and said, "How about apologizing for causing this mess?" Okay. So then Mace responded to that, and this is where it gets good. "If you want to vote against the people who elected you, that's on you, Representative Greg Murphy, but I'm gonna stand with them, not Washington. For context, he tried to reply, but he blocked me after posting this. What a kitty."
Oh, you know what it is. It's a reference to the female copulatory organ.
It's what Trump likes to grab without asking permission first, right? Yeah, one of those. Yeah. Anyway, on a more serious note, Representative Don Bacon told reporters on Thursday that he and his wife have continued to receive some pretty serious threats, and they fear for their safety after getting a threatening voicemail. In fact, Bacon tells the press, quote, "I didn't sleep well last night. I called her and I go, 'How are you doing?' Meaning his wife. She said, 'I slept really good. I had a loaded gun.'" It was ugly phone calls. So Jim Jordan's allies continue to call and threaten those who refuse to support him or vote for him in the speakership role. Now, the threats started pouring in apparently before the first vote had even happened. And it appears it didn't play out so well for Congressman Jordan here. So what happens now? More chaos. That's my read of it. So the interim House Speaker, Patrick McHenry, said that Republicans will gather on Monday for a candidate forum. And then they plan on having elections for whoever the nominee is on Tuesday. Now, here's the problem. There's a giant list of potential nominees, people throwing their name in there. You have Kevin Hern of Oklahoma, Austin Scott of Georgia, who challenged Jordan last time. You have Jack Bergman of Michigan, Tom Emmer of Minnesota, Byron Donalds of Florida, who's also a Freedom Caucus member. Other members who are considering but haven't decided yet, you've got Mark Green of Tennessee, a Freedom Caucus member, Jody Arrington of Texas, Mike Johnson of Louisiana. It's just interesting because when it comes to the Freedom Caucus members, that's like, remember, the far right wing of the Republican Party, the moderates aren't that into you, bro. So like, you guys gotta sit down. I do think that their best bet is to go with someone a little more moderate and find ways to, I don't know, apply pressure to the crazy eight, if that's even possible. I just don't really see an end in sight.
Well, that's the thing, is like, if you are the 8 people who can hold up the will of 200 other Republicans. Well, there are 200 other Republicans who can return the favor to you. And so they can, and they've been doing that. And there were some people that were like, all right, basically what we're doing is we're just switching out. Like, we'll do the first vote for Jordan and we'll make him think he's close. And then on the second one, the plan was to have more people defect to get rid. I mean, that's not quite a conspiracy theory, but it's kind of how people were talking about it afterwards. A few in certain reports was like, we're getting rid of, we expanded the margin by which he lost in the second one to convince him it's not getting better. Those names are great. I mean, other people, Anthony Gomez, Sarah Hopkins, Alexander Castillo, Jade Thomas, Harper Mills, Sarah Samara Stokes. These are all names that are basically as familiar to all of us who follow politics pretty closely, even though those were fake names I just generated on the internet. They are just equally as recognizable as the ones listed who could be the next Speaker of the House. Yep. Since 9/11, the Speaker has to be like, in case of emergency, these people next. Those people, they've got a list. They've got their secret, the list of his preferred follow-ups. What's interesting to me to take from this and can't be lost in all of it is this guy, Jim Jordan, was Donald Trump's favorite. And in a place where everybody says that Donald Trump has full control over the Republican Party, not in the halls of Congress, it seems. There's a lot of people who, when it comes to secret ballots, and Matt Gaetz is right to point them out for being kind of cowards, but they get the job done in those smoke-filled rooms that people are skeptical about. But he just doesn't have that extra little like oomph of communication to communicate an actual plan for America. People just know he's getting more name recognition out of this, and definitely delighting in messing with everyone else in Congress.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about himself. Who cares about, the job he was elected to do? Who cares about the fact that there are two massive ongoing wars right now, all sorts of issues within our own borders? Who cares? It's all about them. So we'll see how it plays out next week.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.